Hi, and welcome to my homeschooling diary, my recontinuation of my diary of a multifaceted mama that I begun a couple years ago after having my fourth baby and stopped maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 months in, something like that. And now feeling the tug to resume some kind of video diary for myself to share for those who relate, who will benefit from the sharing, but also as a log for myself. Because as a mom with 5 kids across the age span from 1 to 16, each with different needs, plus this fuzzball dog here that is very high energy that has high attention needs as well, who also runs businesses that I love, as a therapist, as a mentor. I'm busy, and it's often so easy for us moms who are busy with big hearts, big missions, big things on our plate, to forget what experiences we've had that are enjoyable, to forget what happened last year with our kids, what we did last week. I don't even know, what did I eat yesterday for lunch? Right? So to have a log of this journey that is new to us, we just started homeschooling yesterday for my seventh grader and my third grader. Feels like a gift that I can, even if no one else tunes in, I can gift this to myself, and maybe my kids will even want to watch it one day. Who knows? But my hope is that it is also a gift to others who resonate and who want to join our journey or join the conversation, whether you're a homeschooling mom, a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, just a busy leader mom, a mom in the health and human service professions like myself, an entrepreneur mom. I'm all of the above. So if you're any of those moms, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. So yesterday was the first day of our homeschooling journey. It was the first day after the holiday break. The boys are very much looking forward to it, and so was I. Like, I was very much looking forward to it for them, for me to have this opportunity to be able to spend this time with them is not something I had thought I was going to do. If you were to have asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it wasn't something that was on my radar to do. Um, but here we are. Here we are. And so some of the things that I realized I needed to get sorted out was a space for them to be able to feel like they can come into, and it is where they can focus on their learning and also still set up an environment. See the dog, high needs. Look at him. He scratched to get in here. Now he's scratching to get out. Come here. Come here. Um, I just lost my train of thought. What was I just talking about, Sarge? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. So I need to, I think I remember. So I needed to create structure while also creating space for adaptability, for high levels of flexibility, because I'm not just staying home and homeschooling the boys, the third grader and the eighth and the seventh grader, but I also, on my non-work days, I am with the babies, which is my recently turned 3-year-old and my 1-year-old, who will soon be 2 in a few months. So he's 1.5. And I need to be able to attend to each of them, to meet the needs of each of them, to support each of them. And so I needed to create something that allowed structure that felt supportive and clear, as well as open space, because we need some room for forgiveness here. Because if the 3-year-old is having a tantrum right when we're about to leave and get ready to go to the library, well, that's going to affect the time frame. So yesterday, I had I had this beautiful way set up. I had some structure, some space for flexibility. We've had lots of conversations about what to expect, that there will be both structure and a need for flexibility. And then the baby, the 1.5-year-old, did not sleep well at all that night, which means I didn't sleep. And then in the morning, once I finally got the baby asleep and he was in his crib, the 3-year-old woke up earlier than usual and was upset and wanted to be with me. And so I needed to get her. And so the time that I had intended to carve out in the morning for myself to mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually prepare myself was not it was no longer available. It was off the table at that point. And so that was how we began our day. But we did it. We began our day. And once it was time for the boys to come down, they were super excited and they hopped in. And as we moved throughout our day, there was some sibling bickering. Now, part of the expectation for this first week of schooling is to get acclimated, not just with the structure and adaptability, but also with the environment that we want to create for with the culture that we want to cultivate for this learning space, knowing that this is not just homeschool, this is life school, right? So this is learning through life, learning through life experiences, learning through just existing in our home and doing different things that need to be done. So it's not a sit down from this time to this time. We're only doing this and we're doing a strict lesson on this thing, and then we're going to go into this thing. That can't happen here. That cannot happen here. Now we do, again, we have the structure, but we have to have the flexibility. And so one of the things that I, as a therapist that has worked with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of families and children, many of whom are special needs or struggling in a variety of ways, otherwise they wouldn't be working with me, right? Um, I have a good feel on what can support the social, emotional, and behavioral aspects of children. And so took out my many years of behavior charts that I've created for my kids over the years. Some I don't have anymore because I've wound up throwing them out over the years since I was accumulating so many, but I think I was able to pull out five or six. So I pulled out five or six. We brainstormed them. We looked over them together. I pulled out what I call family frame formula, which are life principles that I created based on my professional lived experience and put them into frames, and hung them up around the house. So the kids, I roll at me as they're, oh, my mom's a therapist, right? Um, but I brought those down. We went through those together. And so together, even though I already had in my mind some ideas of the way in which we're going to create some expectations, a token economy system to help support a healthy um, culture, a healthy environment for us. I wanted them to be a part of it because this is their learning environment. This is now their schooling. Life is their schooling, right? And so I didn't want to just dictate it to them. I really wanted them to be a part of it. And so that was really an interesting experience because this is new to them. It's very new to them. Usually when they go into school, it's just told to them, these are the expectations. You need to recite them, you need to review them, you need to practice them. Let's talk about them, but they became a part of that conversation about the expectations. And they had, they had some good insight and they also had some challenges. But at the end of the day, they called my mom, they're talking to my mom. My mom asked, what did you learn today? And my third grader, so he's 8, he said, well, I learned some math and I learned how to be happy. So the time they had with my husband doing math one-to-one with him earlier in the day, they remembered they learned some math. And then the time that they spent with me all the rest of the day, he deemed it as, and I learned how to be happy. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. And also, I need to remember to continue to have conversations with him about how to handle when we're not happy, right? And we did have those conversations, but it was really great to hear his little brief perspective on what he learned through that day. So I feel good about the first day that we had. We had more time together, quality time. They also had some time to be separate, to rest, to take breaks. Breaks are so important for us to have. So breaks are scattered all throughout our time together throughout the day. And by the end of the day, they felt good. They both said they really enjoyed the day. They all both started the day saying they were really looking forward to it. And so today is my first day of homeschool on a work day. And it has gone smoothly so far. So I woke up this morning, I actually was able to have that time I carved out for myself this morning. The baby slept, and the 3-year-old stayed in her room like we discussed, and she played for a little while mommy did the mommy things. And she did beautiful, and I praised her highly. She did such a great job, which I know is very hard for her. So I'm very happy that she was able to do that, and I'm very proud of her. But in that time, I was able to come here, Sarge. In that time this morning, I was able to create the focused curriculum for the day, and print them out as well as directions for them. And then before I went to work, I was able to go through them with us together. And we begin our day in a very intentional way. And I think maybe in the next video, I'll share around our morning routine because I'm a big proponent of having a very intentional morning routine. It does not need to be rushed. In fact, why rush it, right? But for it to be very intentional. So maybe I'll share about that in the next video, I think. So right now, I'm about to end my day, end my work day. After doing this video, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to have them share with me what they learned from what I left out for them, as well as what they learned from what they did with their grandparents today, who I have been encouraging to share things with them, to teach them their skills that they've learned over the years, because now this is intergenerational learning and education. I think that's a beautiful, but what an amazing opportunity. Those things excite me. I think that's great. So here I go, off to close the computer, shut down my work, let the dog out of the door because he's getting a little bit antsy, and we're going to see how they did today. And I will tune in with you next time to keep you updated. Bye, everyone.